All right. Hello, everyone. We are going to move on to our next game of Marvel Champions. Today we'll be playing as Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider's ability is all about playing events. So it's similar to Gamora, where she's going to get boosts from playing events, but specifically, she is going to want to play events that are interrupt events or response events. And if she plays one, she gets to ready. So a lot of her stuff is going to be defense focused. It comes prepackaged as a protection character for that reason. Because a lot of events that have interrupt and response are things that are happening because the villain is doing something, like attacking you or things like that. So, for example, one of her cards here, Pirouette and Punch, says when a card is revealed from the encounter deck, deal 1 damage to the villain, equal to 1 more than the number of boost icons on that card, and cancel that card's when revealed effects. So that's something that's going to happen during the villain phase more often than not. This one is one that we can use during the hero phase or during the villain phase, because it says after Ghost Spider uses a basic power, deal 6 damage to an enemy. So if I do a thwart, I could play this. If I do an attack, I could play this. Or if I do a defense, I could play this. So if I'm during the villain phase and he attacks me and I defend, my basic defense is a basic power. So technically I could use this then as well. So that's what a lot of her cards are. After she uses a basic power, remove threat, things like that. And once per phase, if she plays one of these cards, then she can ready her identity. So that's what she's going to be trying to do. On her alter ego side, on her Gwen Stacy side, it says we can, as an action, choose to either shuffle Ticket to the Multiverse from your discard pile into your deck, or ready George Stacy. So George Stacy is her dad, and he has a card in the deck that lets you do things with events as well. So we can ready him as an action on our alter ego side, or we can take the Ticket to the Multiverse card if it's on our discard pile and shuffle it back into our deck. So that's what she does on her alter ego side. Today for our villain, we're going to be playing against Klaw. Klaw is one of the 3 villains that were in the original core box of Marvel Champions that you could buy, the very first one. And he is going to start with a minion in play and a side scheme in play every time you play with him. So his setup effect is that we have to find this Defense Network side scheme. It comes in with 2 threat plus 1 per player, so it's got 3 threat on it for us. And it's got the crisis icon, that exclamation point. So that means that we can't remove threat from the main scheme until we defeat that side scheme. And then also with Klaw, the way his setup on his main scheme works is that when it's revealed, we have to discard cards from the encounter deck until we get a minion. So I've already done that. You can see I've got some cards that I discarded off to the side over here, and I've got a weapons runner in play. Important rules thing that they've clarified over the years is this card here says discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play. And so the weapons runner, this is a perfect example of this rule that they have kind of clarified. The weapons runner says after this card is revealed, reveal 1 additional encounter card. So this is one of the older cards, so it's actually explaining to you what the surge keyword means. But in this case, Weapons Runner was not revealed from the encounter deck. It was put into play from the encounter deck, and they've clarified that those 2 things are different. So the Underground Distribution main scheme put this into play. It did not reveal it. So Surge does not take effect. So we don't have to get another encounter card. That was something that they have clarified in the most recent update of the rules. So we just have the Weapons Runner. We don't have to get another encounter card. Okay, I've drawn my starting hand. I already showed you some of the cards. We've got Armored Vest, which gives me +1 defense. That's pretty good. Warrior of the Great Web, attached to a character with Spider in its title. Attached character gains the Web Warrior trait. After a Web Warrior ally leaves play, attached character gets +1 attack until the end of the phase. Pirouette and Punch we talked about. Ghost Kick we talked about. Phantom Flip we talked about. And then we got the Miter. I meant to say Miles and said Miter, combined it with Spider. Miles Morales version of Spider-Man as an ally. After you play him from your hand, stun and confuse an enemy if you control at least 3 Web Warrior cards. So we're going to want to play him later, ideally, so that we can have at least 3 Web Warrior cards in play when we play him, but we might play him anyway just because we might need him. And Ghost Spider is a Web Warrior on her hero side. She is a civilian on her alter ego side. And then Spider-Man, Miles Morales, would count as a Web Warrior when we put him in play. So we need to find one more Web Warrior card to trigger his ability, which we don't have in our hand at the moment. At the moment, I have nothing I can do specifically in alter ego form because I did not get Ticket to the Multiverse. I did not get George Stacy. And that's what her action on her alter ego side does. I don't need to heal since we just started the game. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip over to hero form right away. And let's go ahead and discard this Warrior of the Great Web to give myself that armored vest. That +1 defense will come in handy. She's going to be wanting to defend fairly often. Then we have no threat on the main scheme. We could remove threat from the defense network, but there's only 3 on there, and I'd hate to waste this 5 with Phantom Flip. So I think I want to hold on to that. Pirouette and Punch is more useful during the villain phase. So I think I want to play this Ghost Kick to deal some damage to him. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use her basic power of, let's see. I'm going to use her basic power of attacking for 2 to deal 2 damage to the weapons runner, which knocks it out. And then as a response to that, after Ghost Spider uses a basic power, I can play Ghost Kick to deal 6 damage to an enemy. So I have to pay 2 resources for that. So I am going to pay... I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Spider-Man ally. And let's do the Pirouette and Punch. Actually, no, let's do the Phantom Flip. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to the Pirouette and Punch. I played the Ghost Kick, which said I get to deal 6 damage to an enemy. So I'm going to deal 6 to Klaw and knock him down to 6. And then her ability on her card says, after you resolve an interrupt or response ability on an event, ready Ghost Spider. So that Ghost Kick is a response on an event. So I played that, so I get to ready her. So then I will use her, let's see. I will just use her basic attack again and hit him for 2 more. Actually, no. I'm eventually, she's not great at thwarting, but I should probably get rid of this defense network eventually. I don't want the main scheme to get out of hand. It's not at the moment, but you never know what might happen. Okay, so then that's the end of my turn, so I'll go ahead and ready. And then I've got 1 card in hand, so I'm going to draw 4 to get back up to 5. Okay, so I got a counterpunch, which means if I defend against an attack, I can spend this to deal damage back to him. After I've got a web bracelet, which is an upgrade. After you resolve an interrupt or response, exhaust it to draw a card. I'm going to want to put that in play. Across the Spider-Verse is an event. Exhaust a Web Warrior card you control. Search your discard pile for a Web Warrior ally and put it into play. Then choose a player. That player may spend 3 resources of any type to repeat this ability. So this would be a way for me to... I could play this card for 2 resources, and then I could get that Miles Morales Spider-Man card that I discarded earlier, I could get that back out and play it without having to pay for it. I just pay the 2 resources here, and then I would exhaust a Web Warrior card. Web Binding, another event. This one has a requirement that we have to pay a blue resource. So we have to play a mental resource while paying for the 2 cost of the card. And it says when an enemy would activate, cancel that activation. If a minion's activation was canceled this way, deal 4 damage to that minion. So I could do that right now and then not let Klaw attack, basically. And then we still have the pirouette and punch from our hand before. Okay, so he's going to get 1 threat on the main scheme. And then when Klaw attacks, he only attacks for 0. But instead of only getting 1 boost card, his ability on his card says he gets 2 boost cards. So instead of a normal attack of like 1 or 2 plus 1 boost card, his attack is 0 plus 2 boost cards. So I could use Web Binding to just cancel his attack and it just wouldn't happen. I would prefer to do that against a minion since it also deals damage to a minion. And since I have so many other things that respond to him attacking in my hand right now, I think I'm okay with him attacking me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and defend the attack. I get +1 defense, so I have 4 defense. And then I will give him his 2 boost cards. So he's attacking me for 0 plus 2 cards. And those 2 cards have 5 total icons on them. Okay, so he is hitting me for 5. I defended for 4, so I take 1 damage. And then, as a response to that, I'm going to play Counterpunch for free. After your hero defends against an enemy attack, deal damage to that enemy equal to your hero's attack. My attack is equal to 2, so I'm going to hit him back for 2. And then the ability on Ghost Spider's card is a once per phase, so I can do it during the villain phase as well. And I played a event that has a response effect on it. So what that means is I get to ready her. Now, if he were to attack me again and if I defend it, then play another event, then I wouldn't get to ready her again because it's a once per phase. So I can't just keep spamming that every time. But super useful to be able to ready her after defending. Okay, then I get my 1 encounter card for the round, which is Sonic Boom. When revealed, either spend 1 of each resource type or exhaust each character you control. Well, that's rude. So I ended up not getting to ready her anyway. Am I okay with spending 1 of each resource? I can barely even do it because I only have this 1 card that has yellow. Yeah, I really don't want to do that because I really don't want to get rid of these web bracelets. So yeah, I guess I will be exhausting her. Okay, that was unfortunate. I could use this pirouette and punch and cancel that. So Sonic Boom says spend 1 of each resource or exhaust each character you control. Pirouette and punch says when a card is revealed from the encounter deck, that's what we're doing right now, deal 1 damage to the villain equal to 1 more than the number of boost icons on that card. There are 0 boost icons on that card. It just has a boost effect. So it would be 1 more than 0 would be 1. So I would deal 1 damage to him and I would cancel the card. I mean, I have it. I have the pirouette and punch. The problem is if I do the pirouette and punch, I would have to spend these 2 resources to play it, and then I wouldn't be able to play the web bracelet. I think I'm just going to let him exhaust me, and I'll cancel it. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so then I want to play the web bracelet, so I'm going to put that down. I need to pay 2 resources for it. I'm going to pay these 2 for it, and then I think that's going to end up being my whole turn. Yeah, because I can't play Pirouette and Punch. I don't have enough resources. So yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and ready, and then I'm keeping the Pirouette and Punch again, and so then I'll draw some cards. I got a Ghost Kick, Phantom Flip, Spider-Man Peter Parker ally, which is while paying for this card, you have to use one of each resource type. After he attacks or thwarts, choose another Web Warrior character and ready that character. And then I got Expert Defense. When your hero defends against an attack, it gets +3 for that attack. Okay, then it is Klaw's turn. He's going to get a threat. I'm going to defend against the attack again. He's attacking me for 0 +2 boost cards. I'm going to play an interrupt. When your hero defends against an attack, it gets +3 for that attack. So I'm defending for 3 +1 from the Armored Vest, +3 from Expert Defense. So I'm defending for 7 against his attack of 0 plus 0 from this card and 2 from this card. So I defended for 7 against an attack of 2. That was a little mismatched there, but that's all right. And then I played an interrupt event. So I get to ready her. And then after you resolve an interrupt or responsibility on an event, exhaust Web Bracelet and draw a card. So I get to replace that Expert Defense that I played. And I drew an Electrostatic Armor, which is after you defend, deal a damage back to the attacking character. Okay, and then I'm going to get my encounter card for the turn. This one is Sonic Converter, attached to Klaw. After Klaw attacks and damages a character, stun that character. I can spend one of each resource type to get rid of it. But I think I'm now going to go ahead and play my Pirouette and Punch. I think this is the perfect time for it because this card has 3 boost icons on it. So I'm actually, with Pirouette and Punch, I'm going to get to deal 4 damage to him. So I'm going to get to take him out. And cancel him getting that card, and that card's pretty good. So I think I'm going to spend Spider-Man and the Electrostatic Armor to play Pirouette and Punch. When a card is revealed from the encounter deck, deal damage to the villain equal to 1 more than the number of boost icons on that card. So I'm dealing 4 damage to him, and then cancel that card's when revealed effects. So this card doesn't do anything. So I'm going to hit him for 4. Which knocks him down to 0, and we'll move on to his second stage. Okay, when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Okay, I don't believe we've seen it so far in the cards we've discarded, so I will look through the deck and find it. All right, the Immortal Klaw. So it's a side scheme. It gives us an acceleration icon, which means he will gain extra threat on the main scheme while it's in play. And then while it's in play, he gets +10 hit points. And then if we get rid of that side scheme, those 10 points will go away. So if we set his hit point dial at the beginning of this and we get him down to 10 health first and then get rid of those, get rid of that Immortal Klaw, then he would just die because he would get rid of those 10 hit points. So whenever we are able to get rid of the Immortal Klaw, those 10 hit points will just go away. If we never manage to get rid of the Immortal Klaw, then it would just be in play the whole time and we'd have to deal 10 extra damage to him in order to kill him. Okay. So then I shuffled the deck after finding that card. Okay, and then he needs to reset. He normally resets to 18 health, so he will go to 28 with the Immortal Klaw. All right, and then it is back to our turn. And our turn is yet again going to be kind of boring because I can't do anything because I can't play either of these cards because they both cost 2. So what we're going to do is we are going to use Ghost Spider's basic ability to probably thwart 1. Man, her thwart is not very good, her basic thwart. So we're going to use her basic thwart to remove 1 from defense network. And then I think that's going to be our whole turn. So we're going to go ahead and ready, and then draw 3 cards. This is always the weird part of playing as protection characters. They end up doing a bunch of stuff during the villain phase, and so you end up with not doing a whole lot during the hero phase. Okay, I got Young Love. This is another team-up card where it requires Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales to be in play. This is a bit of a weird one because most of the team-up cards require the heroes to be in play, like Gambit and Rogue, or Ant-Man and Wasp, or things like that. This one specifically can only be played while you are both in alter ego form. So you have to do Gwen Stacy alter ego form and Miles Morales alter ego form. In the case of this deck, you can use his ally card to count because it's called Spider-Man Miles Morales, so it counts as both. But it's just kind of an interesting one. That was one of my favorite things about the Web Warrior series that they did, is that so much of it was a lot more grounded in reality compared to some of the other sets that they've done where they were actually dealing with like more realistic villains and things like that after doing the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion and the Thanos expansion and dealing with characters that were quote-unquote flipping to alter ego form when they didn't actually have an alter ego form. And like it felt like the theme of the game had kind of gone away for a while and we were just kind of playing a game. It felt like they kind of got back to that with this expansion, with the Web Warrior series. So yeah, let's see. So for the rest of my hand, I got another Phantom Flip. I had a Phantom Flip and a Web Binding left from my last hand, and then I drew a Ghost Kick. Okay, so then it is Klaw's turn, and he's going to get 2 threat on the main scheme. He normally gets 1, but then the Immortal Klaw is giving him an extra 1. And then he's going to do his normal attack where he attacks me for 2. I think I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 resources to play Web Binding. When an enemy would activate, cancel that activation. And I had to use at least 1 blue resource, and I used a wild for it. So cancel that activation. If a minion's activation was canceled this way, deal 4 damage to him. So he's just not going to attack me. And then we are going to get to, that was an interrupt ability. So I'm going to get to use the Web Bracelet. So I'm going to exhaust the Web Bracelet and draw a card. And I drew Defiance. And what Defiance does is it says when a boost card on an enemy attacking you would be turned face up, discard it instead. Okay. And then he's going to give us our encounter card for the round. And it is attack. The villain attacks you. Okay, well, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to defend it. And take, and that gives me 4 defense. And he's going to attack me for 1 plus 2 boost cards. So his attack went up a little bit when he went to his second stage. So he's attacking me for 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. I have this Defiance card. When a boost card on an enemy attacking you would be turned face up, discard it instead. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So one of these 2 just won't happen. So he's attacking me for 3. I defended for 4, and then I played an interrupt ability, so I get to ready Ghost Spider. And that is it. Okay. And then again, I still have these 2 cards in play. I can't play either of them because they both cost 2. So then I'm going to thwart for 1 with Ghost Spider's basic thwart and discard the defense network. And then we are going to ready both of our cards. And we're going to keep holding on to these cards. Eventually I'll get to play them. So I'll draw a Pirouette and Punch, another Web Bracelet, And unflappable, if you defend against an attack and take no damage, exhaust unflappable to draw a card. This would have been a good one for me to have a while ago, because I keep defending and then using cards and then not having enough cards to actually be able to play cards during my turn. Okay, unfortunately, he is going to finish his main scheme, because he still has the Immortal Claw in play, so he's gonna go to 6. So we're going to reveal his next scheme. Okay. On this one, it says, when revealed, discard cards until you put a minion in play. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then on the front side, there's nothing special. We just lose if he gets to 8 threat. So we need to discard cards from here until we get a minion. Okay. All right, so we got a Armored Guard. Armored Guard has toughness, so it starts with tough. And then the Armored Guard has guard, which means we cannot attack Klaw while it is in play. Okay. Then he's going to give us our attack for the round. He's going to attack us for 1+2 boost cards. We're also going to take an attack from the Armored Guard as well. I'd mentioned this earlier at the beginning of the game, and I completely forgot that I could have been playing these as part of a defense, because it says after she uses a basic power. I mentioned at the beginning that I could do that as part of a defense. Like if I use my basic defense, I could play these as well. I didn't even think about that. Shoot. Okay, well, now I remembered. Okay, so that's actually kind of frustrating right now, because I can't use them on Klaw, because I can't use things that specifically attack on Klaw because of the guard on the Armored Guard. I could do it this way. I could, after Ghost Spider uses a basic power, remove 5 threat from a scheme. It would be kind of a waste, but I could remove the 3 threat from Immortal Claw, and that would basically deal 10 damage to him because it takes away his plus 10 health. I think that might be what I do. So I am going to defend against Klaw's attack. I defend for 4. He attacks me for 1+2 boost cards. So we're going to draw 2 boost cards. And he got a total of 1 extra boost. So he's hitting me for 2. I defended for 4, so I take no damage. So then I am going to, let's go ahead and discard a, I'm going to discard these 2 resources to play Phantom Flip. After Ghost Spider uses a basic power, remove 5 threat from a scheme. So we'll remove the 3 from Immortal Claw, which is going to remove his plus 10 health, so he's going to go back to 18. And then I played a response event, so I get to ready Ghost Spider, and I get to exhaust the web bracelets and draw a card. And I got Hanger Bay. After an ally defends against an attack and is not defeated, exhaust this card to ready that ally. Okay. Then I have to take an attack of 1 from the Armored Guard, which I will just take 1 damage. And then he gives me an encounter card for the round. The encounter card for the round is Assault. The villain attacks you. Great. I could cancel it. I have Pirouette and Punch, so I could cancel it. And it would deal 1 damage back to him. And that damage would actually go through. But then again, I wouldn't have enough to play this card. Man. I think I'm going to let him attack me because then I can discard these 2 cards and play this card because then I'm going to use a defense to defend it. Yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to let him attack me. I'm going to defend for 2. Or, sorry, defend for 4. 3 plus my 1 from Armored Vest. So then he's going to attack me for 1 plus 2 boost cards. So he's attacking me for 1 plus 2 plus 2. So he's attacking me for 5 total. And I defended for 4, so I take 1 damage. And then I used a basic defense, so I'm going to spend 2 resources and play... Oh no, that doesn't work. Shoot. Because he has the... Dang it. The Armored Guard has Tough. So if I do 6 damage to him, it's going to be wasted. But I can't deal 6 damage to Klaw because of Guard. Shoot. Okay, so let's back up. I'll take those 2 boost cards that he just got and I'll shuffle them back into the deck since I saw them. Okay. So instead of letting him attack me, I'm going to spend these 2 resources to play Pirouette and Punch. The card I'm canceling is Assault. It doesn't have any boost icons on it, so it deals 1 plus 0, deals 1 damage to Klaw. And I can do it to Klaw because this card isn't specifically an attack. It just says deal damage. And then I cancel the boost card, or the encounter card. Okay, that Armored Guard is really getting old. Okay, I am starting my turn with 0 cards in hand. So I am just going to swing with Ghost Spider for 2 to get rid of the Tough on the guard. And then I'm going to ready and draw my 5 cards. And then that was my whole turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, so I got Ticket to the Multiverse. This was the card that my alter ego was referencing, so I can spend 3 resources to play it, remove Ticket to the Multiverse from the game, discard your hand, shuffle your discard pile into your deck, draw up to your hand size, and ready each Ghost Spider card you control. So this is a way to avoid getting an extra encounter card from your deck running out, I believe, because I don't think it counts towards that. I got another Expert Defense. Bait and Switch. We saw this card when we played as Drax. It makes it so you force the villain to attack you and then get to remove threat from a scheme. Got our Ghost Kick card, our damage card, and then we got a Silk ally. After you play Silk from your hand, if you control another Web Warrior, search the encounter deck for a Treachery card and discard it. Okay. So then it is Klaw's turn. He's going to get 1 threat on the main scheme. And then both him and the Armored Guard are going to attack me again. Okay, so I'm going to defend against Klaw's attack for 4. And I'm going to play Expert Defense to make it 7. He's going to attack me for 1 plus 2 boost cards. Those 2 boost cards are a total of 2. So he's attacking me for 3. I take none. I played a Expert Defense event, so that means I get to ready. And then at this point, I think I just need to get rid of him. So after using a basic power, I'm going to spend 2 resources. I'm going to spend them both from Ticket to the Multiverse, and I'm going to play Ghost Kick. It's a little bit of a wasted damage, but after Ghost Spider uses a basic power, deal 6 damage to an enemy. I'm really tired of this guard being in the way, so I'm going to get rid of him. So then he won't get to attack me either. And then last thing is after you resolve an interrupt or responsibility, exhaust Web Bracelet to draw a card. And I got another bait and switch. Okay. Then he's going to give me an encounter card for the turn, which is Sound Manipulation. Take 2 damage, Klaw heals 2 damage. Okay, so I take 2 damage, and then he can only heal 1 because he's only 1 below his maximum. Okay. So then it is my turn, and I am going to pay 2 resources to put Silk into play. After you play Silk from your hand, if you control another Web Warrior, which I do with Ghost Spider, search the encounter deck for a Treachery card and discard it. So I'm going to look through what's left of the encounter deck and discard any 1 Treachery. Well, there's only 1 option, so I'll go ahead and discard Klaw's Vengeance and then shuffle the rest. Okay, then I am going to, let's see, I'm going to attack for 1 with Silk, attack for 2 with Ghost Spider, so I'm going to deal 3 damage total, and then I'm going to be done for the turn. I'm going to ready and draw 5 cards. Let's see what I got. All right, Spider Ham ally, play only if you control a Web Warrior. After Spider Ham attacks or thwarts, discard the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon, deal 1 damage to Spider Ham. So he doesn't take any consequential damage inherently, but he might take some from the boost card. I got Counterpunch, so I can attack back when he attacks. Defiance, I can cancel one of his boost cards. Web of Life and Destiny, ignore this card's resource cost if your identity has the Web Warrior trait, so I can just play it for free. After a Web Warrior ally leaves play, choose a player and that player draws a card. And then I finally got George Stacy. I can, as a once per round action, I can attach a event from my hand face down to him, and then I can play them as if they were in my hand. So if there's an event I have in my hand that I don't particularly want to play this round, but I want to get it out of my hand without having to discard it, I can attach them to him, and then I can use them from him as if they were in my hand, which is pretty cool. Okay, so then it is Klaw's turn. He is getting 1 threat on the main scheme. Then he is going to attack me for 1 plus 2 boost cards. And I'm going to play, let's see, I'm going to defend it for 4. I'm going to end up playing both of these 2 cards here, but I need to reveal his damage first. So he's attacking me for 1 plus 3. So he's attacking me for a total of 4. I'm going to play Defiance. Actually, I don't even need to because he's attacking me for 4 exactly, and I have 4 defense, so I don't need to cancel any of this because I'm not taking any damage anyway. So he's attacking me for 4. I defend for 4, so I take no damage. And then after your hero defends against an enemy attack with Counterpunch, deal damage to that enemy equal to your hero's attack. So I'm going to hit him back for 2 damage. And then I played a response event, so I get to ready Ghost Spider, I get to exhaust Web Bracelet, which draws a card, and I get another Counterpunch. Okay. And then I get my encounter card for the round, which is a Weapons Runner. This time, this is being revealed from the encounter deck, so it does have Surge, so I do have to get another one. And this one is my obligation. So give to the Gwen Stacy player. Search your deck, hand, discard pile, and play area for George Stacy and set him aside. Attach this obligation to him. So he's in my hand, so I can just grab him. Then it says, as an alter ego action, I can exhaust Gwen Stacy and remove this obligation from the game and add George Stacy to my hand. So the only negative consequence of her obligation is that she just can't use her dad. Her dad's card is pulled out of the game while that's in play. Right now, I'm not too worried about that, so we're going to be okay. All right, so then on my turn, I'm going to play the Web of Life and Destiny card, and it's going to be free because it says ignore the cost of the card if your identity has the Web Warrior trait. I'm going to use Silk to deal 1 damage to Klaw and knock him down to 12. And then that will give her her second consequential damage, so she's going to get knocked out. Web of Life and Destiny says if a Web Warrior ally leaves play, choose a player, and that player draws a card. I'm going to choose myself because I'm the only player, so I'm going to draw a card. And I get Parental Guidance. If George Stacy is in play, attach an event from your hand or discard pile to him. If he is not in play, search your deck and discard pile for him and add him to your hand. I can't do that since he's out of the game right now underneath my obligation. So I'm just going to use that card as a resource. And I'm going to pay 3 resources to put Spider-Ham into play. All right. And then he is going to attack for 2 on the weapons runner. We're just going to get rid of the weapons runner. And then Spider-Ham's ability says after he uses an ability, we have to discard the top card of the encounter deck. So he takes 2 damage from those 2 boost icons. All right, and then last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to exhaust Ghost Spider for her basic attack of 2 on Klaw. Let's knock him down to 10. And then we'll go ahead and ready everything. And we will move on to our next turn. Got to draw 5 cards. I only have 4 cards left in my deck, so I'm going to draw 1 more, which means I'm going to get an extra encounter card this round. Okay, so I'm going to draw 1 more card. All right, 5 cards I got are Defiance, Counterpunch, Bait and Switch, Expert Defense, and Spider UK, another ally. This version of Spider-Man is when he defends against an attack, deal damage to the attacking enemy equal to the number of Web Warrior cards you control. Okay, so then it is Klaw's turn. He gets his 1 threat on the main scheme. And then he's going to attack me, and I'm going to defend it. He's going to attack me for 1 plus 2 boost cards. There's only 1 card left in the encounter deck, so since he's going to run out of cards, he's going to get an acceleration token. And then we're going to shuffle his deck to give him that second boost card. So here's his first boost card. I'm going to shuffle to get another one. Okay, so here's his first boost card. Put his deck back here. Draw another one. I'm defending for 4. He is hitting me for just 1. He got 0 on his 2 boost icon cards. So I take no damage. So then I'm going to play Counterpunch. After your hero defends against an enemy, deal damage to that enemy equal to your attack. So I'm going to deal 2 damage back to him. And then since I played an event, I get to ready Ghost Spider. exhaust the web bracelet to draw a card, and I drew another counterpunch. I probably should have played the expert defense to give myself that +3. I kind of forgot I had it, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't now because it would have been way too much defense. I would have been defending for 7 again against an attack of this time of 1. So that's all right though. Okay, so then I'm going to draw an encounter card, and then I have to do 2 encounter cards this turn since I ran out of my deck. All right, first one is Solid Sound Body. Attached to Klaw. Klaw gains Retaliate 1, and I can spend 1 of each resource to discard it. All right, it's unfortunate when I'm about to knock him out. And then Sonic Boom. Either spend 1 of each resource or exhaust each character you control. I don't think I have a way to prevent that, so I could spend 1 of each resource. Yeah, I think I'm going to. So I'm going to spend Spider UK as my red resource. Bait and Switch. No, let's do Defiance as my yellow, and then I don't have a choice on the blue. I have to do Expert Defense. Okay, so I did that. And then I'm going to attack for 2 with Spider-Ham. And he will take 1 Retaliate from Klaw. So he's going to die no matter what the top card of the deck is, but the top card is 1 damage. So he would have taken a 4th damage. He gets knocked out. But he deals 2 damage to Klaw. And then he gets knocked out. And then I have the Web of Life and Destiny. After a Web Warrior ally leaves play, choose a player. That player draws a card. So I'll go ahead and draw Expert Defense. Okay. Then I will attack for 2 with Ghost Spider and knock him down to 4. And then I take a Retaliate with that. And then since I got to draw a card, I'm back to having 1 of each resource type. So actually, so I'll just spend those 1 of each resource type to get rid of the Solid Sound Body before I attack with Ghost Spider, so she wouldn't have taken that damage. Okay, then I'm gonna ready everything and draw my 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he gets 2 threat on the main scheme because he has that acceleration icon. And then here is my hand. I drew that Hanger Bay again, Phantom Flip, Miles Morales, Young Love, and Ghost Kick. Ghost Kick, perfect. That's what I was hoping for. So I should be able to defend against his attack and then play this and deal 6 damage to him, which will knock him out. So that should be the end of the game unless something crazy happens. So he got his threat on the main scheme. He's going to attack me. I'm going to use my basic defense to defend for 4 total. He's going to attack me for 1 plus 2 boost cards. 2 boost cards have 1 and 1, so he's attacking for 3. I defended for 4. I take no damage. I will spend 2 resources from my hand to play Ghost Kick. After she uses a basic power, deal 6 damage to an enemy. So that knocks him down to 0. 0. And if it hadn't knocked him down to 0, that was an event, so I would have gotten to ready her. I would have drawn a card from the web bracelet, which was Pirouette and Punch, so I could have canceled his encounter card for the round. So even if I hadn't defeated him right there, I think I would have been okay. All right, good to get a win. Klaw is not the hardest guy in the world. Obviously, he's from the base box. Ultron from the base box is pretty tough, and Klaw can be kind of tough. We didn't get any of the cards from the encounter set that I shuffled in. The encounter set that I shuffled in was the Extreme Measures encounter set. And we got a couple of them as boost cards, which is why some of the boost cards were a little bit bigger a couple times. But aside from that, Klaw is usually fairly easy to get through. Ghost Spider is also just really, really powerful. She's one of the better characters that they've put out. I think if you asked Dara, she would probably pick Ghost Spider as her favorite character that she's played. So that was that. The next game is going to be probably a little less good. The next game is going to be Groot as our hero. So another protection character. He can deal damage, but he's a protection character. And then we're going to be going against Loki. And Loki is one of the most difficult villains that they have put out. We're going to have kind of that 2 games in a row. The next 2 games are Loki, and then the next one after that is Magneto. So it's going to be a tough couple of games, but we've gotten a few wins in a row here, so that is bound to happen. All right, so look out for Groot versus Loki coming soon. All right, thanks everyone.